You see them everywhere on your social media feeds. Fitness influencers are drenched in sweat and performing wild, high-intensity cardio moves that look like they belong in a professional athlete training camp. Most people believe that if you are not gasping for air and pushing your body to the absolute limit, then you are simply wasting your time in your home workout. But the truth is that this obsession with extreme intensity is the reason most people fail to see long-term results. I have spent the last week analyzing the most popular exercises to see which ones actually work for a daily routine. I determined which movements build real results and which ones just lead to burnout and injury. I tried the most popular home cardio moves so you don't have to. Most people start their fitness journey with a burst of motivation, but they quickly realize that doing a grueling full-body workout every single day is impossible to maintain. We often think that more pain equals more gain. But the reality is that the best workout is the one you actually show up for. To find the answer, I put 7 of the most famous cardio moves through a rigorous 7-day trial. I measured them based on how hard they are for a regular person and how effective they feel for your heart rate. Most importantly, I judged them on whether or not a normal busy person would ever actually want to do them again. We will show you the real secret to staying consistent in a minute, but first we have to address the most famous exercise in the world. Day 1 began with the exercise that everyone loves to hate, which is the burpee. The burpee is often called the king of bodyweight exercises because it targets almost every muscle in your body at once. You start by dropping to the floor into a plank, then you perform a push-up, and then you jump your feet back toward your hands and explode into the air. It sounds simple on paper, but it is incredibly demanding on your cardiovascular system. I set a timer for 10 minutes and started my first repetition with a lot of energy. But by the time I reached the 3-minute mark, I was already starting to regret my life choices. My lungs were burning, and my shoulders were starting to fatigue. The data suggests that you can burn nearly 14 calories every single minute while doing burpees. But the physical cost of that calorie burn is massive. I finished the 10-minute session and collapsed onto the floor in a pile of sweat. While the effectiveness is high, the enjoyment factor is almost zero. But I realized that if I had to do this every single morning, I would probably quit my fitness goals within a week. I gave the burpee a sustainability score of 2 out of 10. It is a powerful tool for a quick blast of intensity, but it feels more like a punishment than a healthy habit. On day 2, I decided to try something much more beginner-friendly, to see if I could find a better balance. I went back to the basics with traditional jumping jacks. This is a move that most of us learned in elementary school, and it is often overlooked in modern exercise programs. I decided to perform these for a full 20 minutes to see if a longer duration would make up for the lower intensity. The first few minutes felt very easy, and I was even able to listen to a podcast while I moved. But as the clock hit the 15-minute mark, I noticed that my heart rate was staying at a very consistent and healthy level. Jumping jacks are surprisingly effective for low-impact cardio because they keep your body moving without the extreme peaks and valleys of high-intensity training. The calorie burn is around 10 calories per minute, which is respectable for such a simple movement. But the best part was that I did not feel like I had been hit by a truck when I finished. I felt energized and ready to take on the rest of my day instead of needing a nap. I gave jumping jacks a high sustainability score of 8 out of 10. They are a great way to stay active without putting too much stress on your mind or your body. We will reveal the exercise that helps you feel stronger without the boring repetition in just a moment. But before we continue, I would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and tell me what is the one cardio exercise you absolutely refuse to do. On day 3, I picked up a tool that promised to turn my workout into a game. The jump rope is famous for being used by boxers to build incredible coordination and endurance. I was excited to start because jump rope feels more like a skill than a chore, but I quickly realized that I am not exactly an expert athlete. The first few minutes involved me tripping over the rope and hitting my own shins multiple times. It was frustrating at first, but once I found a rhythm, the time started to move much faster. Studies show that jumping rope can burn more calories than sprinting if you maintain a fast pace. But what makes it special is the mental engagement. You have to focus on every single repetition, so you don't have time to think about how tired you are. By the end of the 10 minutes, my calves were on fire and I was breathing heavily. But I was also smiling because the workout felt like play rather than work. I gave the jump rope a sustainability score of 9 out of 10. It is portable and effective, but you do have to be willing to look a bit silly while you are learning the rhythm. On day 4, I tried jogging in place, which is the most common move in almost every no-equipment workout video. It requires zero space and zero equipment, which makes it very accessible. I decided to push through a 30-minute session to see if it could be a primary source of daily cardio. But I ran into a major problem almost immediately. The physical effort was fine, but the mental boredom was overwhelming. When you are jogging in place, your environment never changes, and there is no goal to reach. I tried to add high knees and butt kicks to make it more interesting, but it still felt like I was running on a treadmill that was facing a brick wall. It is a very safe and steady way to burn calories, but it is hard to stay motivated for a long time. I gave jogging in place a score of 6 out of 10. It is a useful tool to have in your pocket, but I would not recommend making it your only form of exercise. I will show you how to combine these moves for the ultimate daily routine soon, but we have to look at day 5 first. On day 5, I moved to the floor for mountain climbers. This move is designed to provide core strength while also pushing your heart rate into the red zone. You hold a plank position and drive your knees toward your chest as fast as you can, but after only a few minutes, I noticed that my wrists were starting to feel the pressure. Mountain climbers are excellent for body weight training because they challenge your upper body and your midsection at the same time. But the strain on the joints can be a real issue if you do them for too long. I gave them a 5 out of 10 because while they are effective, they are hard to sustain as a standalone workout. On day 6, I focused on building leg strength with squat jumps. This is a power move where you perform a deep squat and then jump as high as you can. It is great for building explosive energy, and it makes you feel like an athlete. But the impact on my knees was very noticeable after just 3 sets of 20 repetitions each. Even if you have great squat mobility, the repeated landing can be tough on your joint health over time. I gave squat jumps a 4 out of 10. They are a fantastic addition to a strength-building session, but they are probably too intense for a daily cardio habit. Finally, on day 7, I decided to use everything I had learned to create a formula for success. I combined the best moves into a 15-minute circuit. I used jumping jacks to warm up, and then moved into the jump rope for high intensity. But I followed that with a short period of jogging in place to catch my breath. This variety kept my heart rate high, but it also kept my mind engaged. By mixing these different styles of movement, I created a full-body mobility routine that felt sustainable and fun. I realized that the real secret to fitness is not finding one perfect move, but finding a combination that works for you. You don't need a fancy gym or expensive equipment to achieve pain-free movement and a healthy heart. You just need to choose exercises that offer a high sustainability score so you actually want to do them tomorrow. Instead of chasing the most brutal workout, you should focus on functional movement that makes your daily life easier. If you want to improve your mobility and strength even further, you should watch the next video in our series. It will help you take everything we learned today and turn it into a long-term lifestyle.